because I do not know how Dr. Kharote found me. Because 2 weeks ago, he sent me an email that there is a function here and you have to be chief guest. And 2 weeks ago, I started moving from Pune to Mysore. So in last 2 weeks, I have made 3 trips to Mysore and Kerala. And I only came day before yesterday here. And I came to know the topic of today's function only day before yesterday. So anyway, he told me the topic is Lonavala, and I looked at the text. And with my limited background, I think I need at least 6 months to study that text to make justice to this speech. Hatha Yoga Pratipika, I have studied. I can speak without looking at the book. I memorize it. So the problem is that I don't know exactly what I should speak. So yesterday I met him after dinner, and he said, "You can speak whatever you like, but it should definitely be about Hatha Yoga." Now I have studied yoga from my age 5, and I was extremely lucky that I did not have to study yoga at all. This is my father. So my father got his self-realization in 1939, and his guru was luckily a Hatha Yogi and also Natha Yogi. And my father got me when he was 50 years old in 1956. So when I was born, when I was around 5 years old, I started understanding the philosophy. And my father told me, do not study yoga. But I could not stop it. So in between, I will go to Apavan Chowk and buy some books. And he said that you can read all the books, but you will not understand what you are looking for. You will understand what is in the book, but you will not understand what you are looking for. So when I was given the thread ceremony at the age of 8, that in the thread ceremony the priest is supposed to give you Gayatri mantra under the one cover. So when that time came, my father told the priest that don't give him Gayatri mantra. I am the one who is going to give him. So I didn't know what they are going to do, but the cover was made and he did something. I don't know what he did. But as soon as he gave me that Gayatri mantra, I immediately started meditating on sun. And I was meditating on sun until I studied the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. That time I come to know that I was already doing Dharana Dhyan Samadhi. And that was only just one time he told me that mantra in my this thing. And he told me that you should not study yoga when you become financially stable. You will automatically be yogi by that time. And in 1998, what happened was, there was a recession. And our project was closed, and they told me that 4 or 5 years there will be no project, that means no salary will be there. So my American boss told me that you should start teaching yoga for income. That was a total shock to me. Because before that I was teaching 20 years in IIT, etc. Anybody I meet, I teach in some whatever I know. But not for income. But as soon as he told me, not only that, he said that if you don't do that, you will be on the road. And you will not have any money, because my housing loan was $3,000 a month that time. Now, he himself arranged that class. He went to one church which was opposite to the American Army. I was a consultant in Army. And that church was Unitarian Church. That's the same church which supported Swami Vivekananda when he went. Anyway, that church arranged my classes. And then within a month, there is an association called Yoga Alliance. They gave me their highest honor. And they said you can give whatever certificate you want, because there are only 5 teachers with your background in the entire United States. I think I need some water. So then when I started teaching, because of my engineering background, I thought that I should be systematic. So I created one small infrastructure. I didn't have the name for it. And I started teaching that infrastructure in Northern Virginia, very close to Washington DC. And all the people said that this person is talking totally different thing than what we have heard before. Because I was quoting from Yoga Sutras, from Bhagavad Gita, from Hatha Yoga Pratipika, and I know Sanskrit very well, I can talk also in Sanskrit. So what happened was that they told me that I had to give a name to my class. Previously it was called only yoga class. And before that, I had worked in US Patent and Trademark Office. So I had an access to their database through friends. So anyway, I had to give a name because before that, Iyengar Yoga, Ashtanga Vinyasa Yoga, and some Anusara Yoga, etc. were becoming very famous. Now, I thought that I should not have my name in that. So I searched that database, the entire database, and of course my friend helped me because by that time my access was not there. So I came up with the name Authentic Yoga, and Authentic Yoga was not used by anybody by that time. After that, many people started using Authentic Yoga. My website was also hacked. It became authenticyoga.org to authenticyoga.com, net, everything was gone within a few months. Then, anyway, I was teaching this from 1998, and I think I taught at least 20,000 students by 2012. And 2009 I started coming to India, and I felt I was so stupid that I should have been in India, because there is almost nothing in Europe or USA except clean roads, clean restrooms, and systematic way of getting facilities. There is nothing in those countries for an Indian. But of course, all those things are very important, and unfortunately today, I can tell you that in terms of yoga study, India will come around number 20 in the world. And first one is definitely US, second is UK, and all the European countries and Australia come in between. In terms of study, that means in India I have only 5 yoga students, and I have total 55,000 yoga students. And out of those 5, real student is only 1. And I was surprised that she is a student. She told me I am from IIT. So anyway, what I want to tell you is, in 2012, by 2012 I was doing teaching also PhD students and MA students in Kalidas University as a tutor. And they told me, sir, you don't have PhD, why don't you apply for PhD? So I said that, what will I do with the PhD? Because I'm not looking for a job. So they said that you should apply for PhD. You're tutoring PhD students, you should apply for PhD. So I applied for PhD, and all the university says, no, we can't take you. So I went to Berkeley in USA. Berkeley has a very big Sanskrit department, and what happened was that Berkeley, that time there was a holiday, so only there one oldest professor was sitting there, and he's the one who founded that department of Sanskrit and philosophy. His name I forgot now. But he said that, what will you do PhD in? So I said that, I formulated the authentic yoga system, and he said, do you have anything written? I said, yes, I have written my whole system in Yoga Sutra form. So I had written 700 Yoga Sutras in 18 chapters. That small book is kept there. So he said that, let me look at your book, and then you can think, and you go out for lunch and come back. So I went for lunch and I came back, and he told me that, sir, don't do any PhD, your book is far beyond PhD. And if you do PhD, you will be wasting your 5 years, and you have to work very hard here in cold weather. My father, his anniversary is on 21st January. Okay. So I generally celebrate it in the last week of January. So when he told me that his father's anniversary is being celebrated, that gave me some push to come here, and now I am speaking my speech. So what I will do now is, they already spoke on various topics. I try to make it a little bit easier. Dr. Gharote told me make it very difficult. They should feel that I am a real scholar. But I think that the real scholar should make difficult topic very easy. So I will try my best, and some of these things you will be knowing. But I will follow Dr. Gharote's one suggestion. He wants me to show the current status of Hatha Yoga in the society, international society, and what is messed up in that status and what should be done. So he wanted me to give you a real feel of Hatha Yoga. And that is the purpose of my speech today. I am not going to teach you Hatha Yoga completely or any yoga completely. That will take me at least 2-3 months. But I will try to show you what is happening, and also little bit why it happened like that. Okay? So the first topic, how many minutes are over?
I will donate my time to you.
But I will check only 30 minutes. They all are hungry, they have to eat.
I asked for a break. So now what I will do is, first I will tell you a little bit. You have to understand that I am a limited person. I am not a god or something. I am not a Ishwar. But I am a student of yoga, and I am only a student. So don't think that I am professor or all that. I got 2 PhDs, but I am just a student only. But first thing I want to tell you a little bit is what yoga means, and why the yoga word came, and what is the purpose of, why there is yoga. There is so many restaurants, Chinese restaurant. Why do you want yoga at all? Why this came? See, first thing is, this yoga word, everybody knows that this means union. Now there are many misconceptions that this is a union between male and female, Shiva, Shakti, her and her, and so many. The original meaning of yoga comes like this. See, this all comes from Veda system. You understand that the oldest knowledge system in the Indian context is Vedas. And in Veda, the first part is only mantras called Sanhita. And these mantras, you should not study them at all. You have to only go on singing. Agnimeya purohitam yom yajnena yajmenta devasani dharmani pratamani asan teha agama imana sajatneta purve. If you ask that person what it means, he said, I don't know that. Okay? Rigved will take you at least 1.5 months continuous singing in Ghanapart. There are only 10 Ghanapati left today. And there are 363 methods of singing Samaved. Only 3 are left. Out of 300. So here they are singing the mantras. Nobody knows where those mantras came from. So these suktas are to be chanted only. Okay? This is where the real chanting starts. Now, in this there is one part called Brahmanas. Brahmana. So these Brahmanas, they are trying to explain. Okay? And I will stop here now and tell that there is one part of Brahmanas called Upanishad. And in this Upanishad, what is happening is that they are questioning what those Vedas are saying. So you can imagine that it is like a Christian person, who is questioning what Bible is saying. So only India does this kind of things. If you ask any Muslim person that can you question what Quran is saying? So they are questioning this, and the main reason for this. I need one more water. Let's write me totally. Yeah. Why they started questioning is this. See, this one, all these Sanhitas, all the mantras, for example, you know Rudra, Chame, Chame, Chame. So they are all asking the gods to give them what they want. Okay, so here there is a prayer for what they want. Only wants are told here. Now, these wants are executed through Yajurved by doing the Yajna ceremony. That means I know the mantras, those are separate kind of Rigvedi. Then Yajurvedi, they sing those mantras and perform certain rituals. Samavedi, they sing at the end of that mantras. But when they perform the Yajurved, they are supposed to get those results. Like Putra Kabeshti Yajna, you should get the Putra. What they found is that they found two things. One is that no matter what they do, they do not get everything. And no matter what they get, even if they get everything, they are not satisfied. Bill Gates, he has got how many dollars? Still not satisfied. Still he is investing in vaccine industry and supermarkets. So they found that a human being is never satisfied. This is the story of Upanishad. Human being is never satisfied. All other animals, they don't know satisfaction and dissatisfaction. They eat, sleep, sex, and when there is a problem, they get fear. That's all they do. Ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithunani. Only human being thinks that they should put the food in the refrigerator, or next time there will be corona, so we'll store the food, etc., etc. Human being is the only being who creates problems in the nature. So what happened was, previously they wanted all the things. Now in the Upanishad what they are doing is, they do not want unwanted things. That means they shifted the coin. They said that forget about wants, because even if we get wants, we will never be satisfied. So is there any way not to get dissatisfied? That dissatisfaction is called dukkha. Dukkha trayabhighata jijnasa tadapaghatake hetav. This is the first verse of Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga is the oldest philosophy in the world, before Advaita Vedanta. That is why Shankaracharya had to fight with that Sankhya Yoga. Okay, so now what happens is that these Upanishads, the only thing they want to get is remove the dissatisfaction. But it is not removing little bit. They want to get totally removal dissatisfaction and never get it again. That is the difficulty. So Sankhya Yoga is telling that yes, if I got some headache, I can take a headache tablet. But it's not sure that it will go. It may go for me, but not go for his headache. And second is, even if it goes, it may come back. So it is not permanent. That is why they, in Upanishad, they did not only study, they had to do meditation. Because only by study you cannot get it. How many books will you read? How many books will you read? To read a Bhagavad Gita for an average MA student, I taught MA students, takes 8 years. I know many PhDs who do not know anything about Bhagavad Gita. After getting PhD in Bhagavad Gita, I myself guided 30 Yoga Sutras PhDs, only 5 of them know it. But they got the PhD. So what I am trying to tell you is that they had to do meditation, because they went into this chanting continued. They did not stop this chanting. That is the interesting part, that even today chanting is going on. Without chanting you cannot succeed. You have to chant. And then they meditated and also thought about what is going on. Then they came up with what is called as Indian philosophy. So this Indian philosophy has one name. It is called Vedanta. Vedanta means ultimate result of their Veda study or chanting or everything. So Vedanta doesn't mean only ending part. It happens at the end. That's why it's called Vedanta. Now in this, there are so many theories. There are 108 Upanishads, and then they are listed in Maitreya Upanishad, and then so on. And out of these 10 are very important because Shankaracharya wrote commentary on them. Out of that, some people think Ishavasya is the most important. I think that Mandukya Upanishad is the most important because Om is invented in Mandukya Upanishad. Om is not in Vedas. Om is not a sound in Vedas. It is invented in Upanishad, but because it is so great, they say Om Ganeshaya Namah, Harihi Om Agni Mele Purohitam. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam. Om and Bhur Bhuva Swaha is not part of Gayatri Mantra. It is added later. Okay. So what I want to tell you is that they came up with various things in this Upanishadic philosophy. This is very, very, very important. That's why if you are a student of yoga or whatever it is, you must study Upanishad. But Upanishad study is very hard. Because in one book they are saying Atma, another book Purush, third Drashtru, and fifth something else, Chiti Shakti. So now everything is confusing. So now what happens is that these Upanishads, only great scholars, everybody is studying, only great scholars like Patanjali or Kanad, they studied this and they came up with 6 sciences. Shad Darshan. These are called Astic because they came from these. Some others, like Buddhism, they came from this. They are actually coming from this only. But Buddha's guru was Sankhya Yogi. But what they did was there were some social problems. So they deviated from Vedas and they are called Nastic. But actually they are Astic only. Because they are doing the same puja of Buddha like we do of Ganesh. There is a Buddha Abhishek. So now these 6 are there. Okay, now what you have to understand is that in these Upanishads, what is the meaning of first word of yoga comes in this chanting. That is so much embedded that to just find where the yoga is in the chanting, you will get 1 PhD. Just to find that word. But today you can do a search. But what I am saying is that the first appearance of yoga is in Upanishad. And this theory that all the dissatisfaction go away, it boils down to only one thing. That entire theory has many, many explanations. Kachai, Nachiket is there and this is there and whatever it is. Ultimately what they are saying is that this is the human being. This human being definitely has a body. Definitely everybody has a body. That's why you go to the doctor. If you don't have body, you will not go to the doctor. So body is immediately perceived by 5 senses. Immediately perceived. Then there is something which you cannot try to touch, but it is there. Like my mother is there in my mind. She died in 2001. But mother is there. I know exactly how her glasses look. So there is something called mind. Now this mind can be perceived that my mind is happy or my mind is not happy or mind is stressed. All the problems are coming due to mind only. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha moksha yoga. Now this human being or manava or umano in Italian, these names come because this mana is the main word in that. Like M is the word in all the mothers. So this mana means a animal with profound mind. And human being is the most profound mind. Actually human being is mind only. We should only think that these are minds sitting here. But we cannot do like that. If you do like that, then you will marry a correct person. We think body, that's why we try to marry a very beautiful girl. But her mind may not be beautiful. So all the problems are created by mind only. Mind is the one who becomes happy. Mind is the one who becomes dissatisfied. So they came to know that this mind is the problem. But there is something beyond the mind. And that something beyond the mind is called in English language spirit, suppose, or Atman. That much they came to know because what happens is that one person is born. You can call him Neil or John or Manmat or whatever you call him. So there is a baby born. After 7 years, that whole baby is completely replaced by new cells. because he's eating food every day. Without food, body is not made. Some people think that without food they can make body. It's not possible. Air also is the food only. So now what happens is, actually air is the maximum food you eat every day. This you have to understand. That's why if you want to improve the health and nutrition, you must improve only air, not food. First you should improve the air, then water, and then after that food comes. But anyway, now the body is replaced. That means, suppose you consider your body, there will be one body born, another body went to school, and the third body got married, and fourth body died. It's not possible. So you are not a body. Same thing happens to the mind, because mind is constantly changing. Mind is constantly changing, minute by minute. That means you are not mind also. But there is something not changing. That is the same Neil Kulkarni is born and the same Neil Kulkarni died. So there is something going on in between these two. Not only that, in yoga philosophy they are saying that this Neil will be born again for many years. I know all my births. You only know his birth. So his spirit is there. Now what happens is that this Upanishad, what they are trying to tell you is that because this spirit has no dimension. There is no dimension. You cannot describe the spirit. You cannot say spirit is like this, it is very light, it's white color, nothing you can say. So they said that if it is not having any dimension, because it doesn't have any length, breadth, weight, nothing is there. That means all the spirits have same spirit. All the persons have the same spirit. So there is something called universal spirit. There has to be a universal spirit because there is no dimension. No dimension means only one, because body is 5 feet, I am 3 feet, and there is a difference in this space. But in the spirit there is no dimension. So there is only one spirit. Now many Upanishads gave different names like Paramatman, Parameshwar, whatever you want to call it. Or Advaita Vedanta call it Brahman, doesn't matter what you call it. So they said that this spirit and this spirit, universal spirit, is exactly same. Aham Brahmasmi. So the problem is that we don't recognize like that. See, she won't give me her house because our spirits are same. If I go to her house is better than mine. She won't say that. But in American Indian, there was only one house. And anybody can go to anybody's house and eat and sleep or use their pots and like that. Now there is a lock. There is a security now. Even countries you cannot go in now. So what I am saying is they understood that these are same. So what they are saying is that this understanding is not coming. So something has to be done. But if that understanding comes, that is called union between these two. It is not union that you are joining something. It is only your mental understanding that I am the part of this universe. If you can achieve that, then you will get many PhDs. So this is called first yoga. This is the first yoga definition. Atma, Paramatma, whatever you want to call it. Or understanding that I am a part of, or I am a reflection of the universal God. Whatever it is. God made man in his image. All these are copies of Vedic literature. Okay. Now, this is the first yoga which you have to know. Now what happens is that all this is theory. All this is theory. Actually there is practice also. That practice is given in Yogopanishad. There are some Upanishad. For example, Shvetashvatar Upanishad. In this practice is given. Like you do some breathing, They don't know why to do that, like so scientifically. But they know that breathing has something to do with it, etc., etc. So all these practices are given and the philosophy structure is given. Now what happens is that terminology is too much. It's impossible to understand it. For a common man, it's impossible. Even for scholars. So some very evolved beings like Patanjali, what they did was, they created these 6 sciences. And out of these 6 sciences, first 2 are only talking logic. They are only talking logic. And their understanding is that if that logic is completely understood by you, Nyaya and Vaisheshik, then you will come out of this dissatisfaction. It is like, suppose you come to know that this boil is due to somebody biting you. As soon as you come to know that, you are able to solve that problem. Until you don't know that it is due to that insect, then you will be confused. So this logic is given in the Nyaya and Vaisheshik. So far they have not realized. But their logic is extremely powerful. That logic, the method of that logic is used by other systems later. Then the third one which I told you, that started here, Sankhya. That Sankhya Darshan, this Sankhya Darshan became the first scientific system. It gave exactly mathematical model, Purush Prakriti, and then this first verse is Dukkha Traya Vigata, etc. And then it explains Prakriti, how it goes. It gave from Prakriti how the Mahat comes, from Mahat how the Ahankar comes. All this logic is completely given. Okay, so this has resulted in 25 elements. 24 is including Prakriti and plus Purush. All this comes from Purusha Sukta in the Vedas. I can talk in Sanskrit faster. So this Sankhya Yoga is saying that this is there, and to remove the dissatisfaction, you have to disconnect them. You have to disconnect, that means not union, disunion. So in Sankhya Yoga and Patanjali Yoga, yoga is disunion, not union. Then Sankhya Yoga is telling all this, but they are not telling how to do it. So Patanjali said, I will tell you. See, Patanjali studied all this stuff and he came up with Ashtanga Yoga, 8 steps, which I am not going to explain now. Okay? He said that the last step is Samadhi state. In Samadhi state, you forget yourself and you forget the process of focusing. Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. 3.1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Now what is happening is, in this is the second yoga. This is called as classical yoga. Patanjali Yoga Darshanam. Okay? In this, you have to disunite Purush and Prakriti. Then you will get Kaivalya. Purushartha Shunyanam Gudanam Pratibasava Kaivalyam Surupa Pratishtava Iti Shaktiriti. That's the last 34, 4.34. Okay? Now once you get it, after that what happened to Purush is not told. So yoga philosophy is not complete philosophy. Now what happened is that once you get Kaivalya state, you are hanging in the Kaivalya state. Then they have to go to Vedanta. Because Vedanta is telling how this Purush and Prakriti first came together, and after getting that, where they go. So you cannot escape from Brahman. So this is given in the Vedanta philosophy. Okay? So that is another yoga. So, and Bhagavad Gita, each chapter's name is yoga. That is only name of the chapter. It's not a regal yoga shastra. It's only the name of the chapter is yoga. And in that yoga, he has given different 18 methods. For it, first method is to become sad. Unless you become sad, you will not be a yoga student. You must first become very sad. Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Okay? Now, these 18 methods, they are summarized into 5 or 4 methods like Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and Classical Yoga in the 6th chapter, which he was talking. Now I will tell you the last thing. See, these yoga systems, 5, they all evolved, and Bhagavad Gita is the most respected text in the world. It is in all the languages, Urdu language also. So this Bhagavad Gita is telling everything. That is why Jnaneshwara chose that. I am from Jnaneshwara's family. Okay. So what I want to tell you is that these methods came together. Okay. Now later these Natha Yogis. See, Natha Yogis are not ordinary. They are like big generators. So they had practiced all this stuff And then they came to know it is not possible for a common man to meditate. Patanjali is saying, do ahimsa. When you sit near the lion, lion should become very happy. And like that is Patanjali is saying, ahimsa pratisthayam tat sannidho vairatyaga. But it's not going to happen. So what these people did is they were very compassionate. See, you have to understand that Natha yogis, they are very compassionate. So if you live with a Natha yogi, he will forgive you for certain your faults, and he will try to help you. All these are Natha yogis. Shekha, Swami Samartha, all these are Natha yogis. So Shankar Maharaj. So now what happened is that these Natha yogis, and Goraksha was like he's great, like everything is great in him. So Matsyendra made him his guru. Matsyendra is Goraksha's guru, but he told that you are really my guru. So Goraksha did all this work, and Siddha Siddhartha Paddhati is one of the best books he wrote. That is why I came to know Gharote Sahib, because one American girl wanted to study that text, and I didn't know that text. So she brought the text from this institute, and I taught her that text. So what I want to tell you is, Goraksha's method is called Hatha Yoga. And in Hatha Yoga, what they are saying, I will tell you in 2 minutes. 2 minutes I have.
1 minute, please.
See, in Hatha Yoga,
Yes, sir.
in Hatha Yoga, I will tell you, all the Hatha Yoga books are written in a poetic language. And that poetic language is very difficult to understand. Her does not mean sun. Third does not mean moon. Third does not mean Pingala. And third does not mean Ida. All these are only suchak. Read that clearly. They are saying they are only indicating. They are only suchak of Pingala and this. They are not really sun and moon. So the word Hatha means force. Hatha is a Sanskrit word. Otherwise they will use word Ni. Ni means sun and La means Ida. Not like that. Or Rama. Rama means Pingala and Ma means Ida. Not like that. Hatha doesn't mean Ida Pingala. Yes, it is indicating Ida and Pingala. So in Hatha Yoga what they are doing is, Hatha is a Sanskrit word. It means force. In Marathi language it's called Hatha. In Hindi also Hatha. So Hatha means force. Now you have to understand. See, please keep quiet. I have only 1 minute. So they are trying to force. So you have to understand what they are forcing. Unless you know what they are forcing, you will never understand what Hatha Yoga is. See, what they are forcing is, they are coming one step down from the meditation. That one step down from the meditation is energy. In the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, they are doing meditation. That is called Raja Yoga. And their one step down is coming to energy. That universal form of energy is called prana. So they want to get a control on that prana completely. And after getting the control on that prana, they want to force that prana into the Sushumna. Okay, when they force into Sushumna, that same prana is called Kundalini. Kundalini is not ring and all that. All that is only a description. Why it is facing down, all that I can explain to you. But ultimately that Kundalini goes into Sushumna. As soon as you go into Sushumna, that prana is called Kundalini. Their aim is that take the Kundalini to the top. When you take the Kundalini to the top, you get Unmani Avastha. Unmani Avastha means Chitta Prasadanam. Means you become totally peaceful. And during that process, you hear the sounds. The sound must be heard. And then you have to meditate on the sound. That is the Raja Yoga in Hatha Yoga. This is given in the whole Hatha Yoga if you read it very clearly. And that's why the first verse of Hatha Yoga is Kevalam Raja Yogaya Hatha Vidyopadishyate. Means I am showing this, telling this Hatha Yoga so that you can do Raja Yoga. If you do not do Raja Yoga, it is useless. You must do. It is not meant for health and fitness. Yes, you get health and fitness on the way, and this health and fitness part became very popular in this century. And due to that, only asana became. Asana is the smallest limb. Pranayam you must do, starting with breathing to prana. And therefore, yoga in Hatha Yoga means forcing the Kundalini in the Sushumna. That is the definition of Hatha Yoga in the reality. And then when you reach it here, then you become totally peaceful and able to meditate. This all is given there, and after that you should stop all the asana, pranayama, everything you should stop. Only do the nada anusandhanam. Okay? So this is the, and that's why the Raja Yoga and Hatha Yoga are taught together. But actually they are separate. So this method of Hatha Yoga, there is one called Adi Yoga, which you read in my book. Okay?
Thank you very much, sir.